Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. Talk Nooga Radio.
Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Good evening to you. Welcome to Sports Talk with Sam Jordan. We've got a jam-packed show tonight. Talking local, talking college, talking pro. We're going to talk hockey as the Nashville Predators are on the road up in Winnipeg, and we'll be checking in with Preds Pulse with Sam Jordan III is who he is out west, and he'll give us an update of how the Preds have been doing since we last talked with him last Friday. And they've been on a West Coast swing, and they'll be wrapping things up here tonight, if I'm not mistaken, at Winnipeg, and then they'll be back home for a match just before the holidays, and then, of course, after the holidays, they'll be back into full swing. Glad to have along wherever you may be here in Chattanooga, Tennessee Valley, or anywhere around the world. We're on Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube, and, of course, at NoogaRadio.com, and right here on your Chattanooga frequencies of 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. Well, we had some very good basketball action going on last night in and around the Tennessee Valley. A battle of unbeatens with District 5 AAA powerhouse girls basketball teams on Monday night, with Bradley Central shaking off a first half shooting woes and using a strong second half effort to get past East Hamilton 49-40 before a good-sized crowd over at East Hamilton School. The Bearettes are now 11-0 and 3-0 in district play. And meanwhile, the East Hamilton girls, taking their first loss. And so I'm sure that they are not going to be down and out very long, as they still got a lot of season ahead of them in that contest. I'm looking here real quick. Don't see the girls' record for East Hamilton. But the boys' game, East Hamilton improved to 12-2 and 3-1 in the district, as they rolled past the visiting Bears 78-60 with 4 players in double figures. And so it was an outstanding game for East Hamilton. So there was other action going on around the region with Red Bank and also Brainerd in action. And Brainerd was behind for a good part of the contest. And Walker, find his name here. I just had it. Johnny Walker. Yeah, all right. Anyway, Jesse Walker, I apologize. He led Brainerd in that comeback with 31 points and came back and beat Red Bank 79-72. So, it was a hard-fought contest, and it was a setback for the District 6 AA Kingpin, as they were on their home floor, and it just came right down to it, and Brainerd came back, and they wanted it more than what Red Bank did. But I'm telling you, Red Bank is not a bad team, and they are going to be they've had some hard-fought contests. They're 5-5 overall and 1-4 in districts. So, Red Bank still plugging away, but Brainerd wanting it more, as we said, in that victory. Brainerd is 6-0 overall and 5-0 in district play. So I have a nemesis here in the studio with me. But anyway, we encourage you to call in at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949 with Sports Talk with Sam Jordan here on Nooga Radio. Don't forget, you can also message us on Facebook Live as we are filming live. So call or send in your comments, and we'll try to answer it on air as well. Coming up here after the break at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be checking in with Sam Jordan III with Preds Pulse, as We said the Preds are on the road, wrapping up their road trip there at Winnipeg. And, the Preds, NHL runners-up in the Stanley Cup Championship, losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins earlier in the year. But they are actually doing pretty good. They've had a few injuries and stuff, and Sam will give us an update with what's going on. As we're making our transition over from the high school over to the college level, Baylor senior Addison Irwin has committed to play lacrosse next year at Division III Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia. Irwin has also been awarded the university's Lanier Scholarship to continue his academic studies. Irwin, the Red Raider goalie, is a 4-year varsity letterman and holds Baylor records for most saves in single season and most saves in a single game. Been named to the Tennessee Division I All-Region team, the Tennessee Division I All-Star or All-State second team, and the Brine Pride of Tennessee team. The Stormy Petrels play in the Southern Atlantic Association. So congratulations to Mr. Irwin, as he will be continuing his educational career at Oglethorpe University down in Atlanta. Cleveland State Athletic Office announced its 2018 Hall of Fame class that will be inducted on Saturday, February 3rd at the Cleveland Country Club. The induction ceremony will precede the Cleveland State men's and women's basketball games versus Jackson State at 2 and 4 p.m. All inductees will be recognized between the two contests. The class will represent Cleveland State athletics from the 1980s and 90s in the sports of men's and women's basketball, baseball and softball, and tennis and golf. Athletes being inducted are Ryan Coe and Doug Beard for baseball, Carla Northcutt for women's basketball, Haley Carroll representing women's softball. Also being inducted are Bethel Hendricks for men's basketball, C.T. Hardison for tennis, and Josh Coley for golf. Tony Fox will also be inducted for meritorious service to the university. Tickets can be purchased for $25, and if you want more information about the induction ceremony and the day's activities, contact Cleveland State Athletic Office at 423-473-2271. And you can also purchase a ticket for the event by visiting the website mycs.cc/Hall of Fame. All right. Coming up at 7 o'clock, don't forget, it is the one and the only Keon Rose with the clutch. He's got all kinds of interesting sports tidbits to tell you about here tonight. While we're still on college, Lane Kiffin. Yes, the one that kind of gave a bad taste in the mouths of a lot of Tennessee Vols fans here a few years back. He got a new 10-year deal to stay at Florida Atlantic University. He's resurrected Florida Atlantic's football program in just one season. And so he gets rewarded with a 10-year deal. Boss, can I get that kind of a deal? He's ignoring me. But we're used to that. All right. Florida Atlantic 10-3 facing Akron on tonight in the Sherry Bundle Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. Wow. Why they name these bowl games the way they do. They have won 9 straight games, capturing the Conference USA Championship earlier this month. Now, only Mark Richt has a longer coaching tenure at a Florida
online at Lone Star Transfer
at an FBS school, other than Lane Kiffin, who's only been at FAU for one season. Mark Richt, his first season was in 2016. Lane Kiffin has only been there since 2017. Butch Davis at Florida International University has been there since this year. And Charlie Strong at South Florida. In 2018, Dan Mullins coming aboard at Florida, Josh Hupp at Central Florida, and Willie Taggart at Florida State. Those are the 7 coaches in Florida that are making or has got good deals and has been there for a long time.
Am I confusing you?
No, you're irritating. That's what you are. If you want to know the truth.
I'm wiring something in the studio. while you're live. And
Electrocution possible? Who knows?
You should see his frustration and the looks he's giving me. Listen, we're 24 hours a day. We have to do it sometime.
Okay, overnights.
Yeah, right. You come in here at 3 a.m.
John Hogue would do that. Anyway, the 10 wins are the most in program history for the Owls in their 13 years as an FBS school. This is Lane Kiffin, Florida Atlantic University.
You said Owls.
Yeah. All right. Go back to Temple. All right.
Hey, how'd them Eagles doing?
I don't know.
Seriously. I know we're not talking national sports, but how'd them Eagles
who talks
doing?
about national sports?
How'd them Eagles doing?
Yeah, they're okay, I guess.
They're going to be in the Super Bowl? Yeah, in the stands watching, right?
Yeah, they might be in the stands watching.
Are these NFL losers still sitting down or not respecting the flag?
Pretty much that's over and done with.
They're it's finally out of their system.
Yeah.
About time.
Hey, got a comment. Wow.
You know, we pulled the NFL because of that. The station used to run the NFL.
Yeah. We ought to bring it back.
No.
Maybe not this season.
No, not bringing it back.
Oh, okay.
Hate the NFL.
All right.
Because they didn't stand for my flag. Hell with them.
Okay.
Nope. Not bringing them back.
Hey, you're on my show here. I've got a plan here. You're ruining the plan.
Sorry.
Anyway, getting back to talking sports here. According to Kiffin, we're grateful that the president of the university are this excited about what we are doing here at FAU and into the future, although our focus remains completely on the team in this historic season finale tonight on ESPN, according to Kiffin telling ESPN on Tuesday. I'm trying to think here.
Come on, don't get confused.
All right.
I watch you every night. I listen. Sometimes you get a brain cramp. You're like,
like Walter.
You see what we have up there on the wall? UH with an X.
Yes. Can I put an X on you? All right.
Go ahead.
Continue. Go back to your corner.
Continue. How long have I known you? 20 years?
More than that.
I lost all my hair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You are good at play-by-play. Are we gonna hear you do play-by-play someday?
Yes. Myself and Keon Rose will be doing play-by-play after the first of the year.
Yeah, if he's still working here.
Yeah, that's true. I may get called back to ESPN or CBS.
If he keeps posting on Facebook, he will.
Somebody just said, you're supposed to be at home with Chrissy.
Yeah.
No, it says that.
No.
But anyway, the Owls' 9-game win streak is the second longest in the country behind the 12-game streak put together by Central Florida. Winning a bowl game would make FAU the only FBS team thus far this season to go unbeaten against conference opponents and also winning a bowl game. So that's pretty big in itself. Why couldn't he have done that at Tennessee? I don't know. All the other schools that he was at, and in fact...
Yeah, it perplexes me.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing that perplexes you.
Why couldn't he have done that?
I don't know. This is only, I think, when he was a coordinator at USC. This is the only job.
Yep.
The only job he had that he stayed for 6 years. Every place else was for a year or less.
I know. Why did he stay for 6?
I know. Why did he stay for as long as he did at Tennessee? And that wasn't even a month.
I don't know anything about sports. All I do is somebody brings up sports. I say, what about that game last night? Now, yeah, what about that?
And then you're clueless from there, just like you are in wiring.
You know what? Let me tell you what was interesting, though. Watching the Flyers in Philadelphia in the 70s.
At the Spectrum.
Yeah,
you're right.
That was a lot of fun. With the enforcer there.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a lot of arenas around the country that are very unique, and, it's an intimate setting. And the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and before that, it was Spectacor, and I forget what other names that they had based on their sponsorship of the arena. But that was probably one of the best arenas you could ever go to.
Oh, we got right up front. It was actually a fight, and every once in a while, a hockey game would break out.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
That's pretty much changed, though.
They don't fight anymore?
Not much.
They're a bunch of sissies.
You see it in junior hockey quite a bit.
Well, why watch the game? It's like, what's all the padding with football? Why don't they just take all the padding off? Now I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Why are football players wearing all that padding? What a bunch of sissies. Take the padding off.
Why have helmets?
That's what I'm saying. Why have helmets? That would be a fun. Now we're talking about interesting sport.
Yeah.
Take the padding off. Take the helmets off.
But I know in the 5 years that I've been doing hockey prior to moving here to the South, you would enjoy those fights that would break out. And when you talk to some of the players after the game, especially the team that I was covering out of Jamestown, New York, it was like they've been taunting each other all game long. And it was like they would even tell each other, hey, we're going to have a fight here at such and such a point.
Oh, they would really do that?
Yeah, they would. Now, we're talking 16 to 20-year-old kids, basically. And it's like, they've been jawing, and finally it says, all right, let's throw the gloves. And when you throw the gloves, you're automatically out of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in junior hockey, it is that way. And it's like until they fall onto the ice, that the refs will let them fight all they want until they hit the ice, yes.
But they could throw the gloves.
Throw the gloves
and
or leaving
fight.
No matter what.
Hey, wait a second. Did you hear this? Listen to this. Listen.
Tax relief, because you know why? They don't think people who have achieved financial success should get any tax relief. They don't want anybody to have tax relief, Kevin.
I'm about to dance.
My good friend Mike Gallagher, who I've known for
it's huge.
Over 20 years.
Kevin, it is absolutely
He's
amazing.
Philly, right?
And you ought to dance in the street.
He's originally from Harrisburg.
The media can spin all they want.
So,
they're not going to be able to.
All right, Mike, we'll deal with you later.
Yes.
Okay.
He will be in here on Friday night for an hour.
Yeah. And not tomorrow, Friday. Yeah, I'll be here Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. So what's going on in sports, Mr. Jordan?
Are you sure I can talk sports?
Just go do it. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we're done talking about Lane Kiffin. I think I could be done with talking to Lane Kiffin forever. But Jeremy Pruitt was not present for Alabama's first day back at practice, but is expected back after recruiting this weekend, with Monday being the start of the dead period. Now, you ask, why am I associating Jeremy Pruitt with his old employer, Alabama? He's staying on as Alabama's defensive coordinator throughout the playoffs, but has to manage the early signing day as head coach at Tennessee, which is tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, UTC is going to be having a press conference. We're going to be there getting some audio and hopefully with some interviews with some of UTC's signings for football tomorrow. That gets underway at 3:30. So the boss didn't know until I just said it, but we're going to be there covering that. And with the latest wave of coaching changes complete in the SEC now, that means the rest of the league has had 43 different head coaches since Nick Saban was hired at Alabama in 2007. 43 different coaches in 10 years. All but Georgia, LSU, Missouri, and South Carolina have had 3 different head coaches since Saban arrived. Arkansas and Tennessee lead the way, each with 5 different head coaches. And look where both of those programs have been, even my lowly Razorbacks. But both programs are hoping to turn the corner. Volunteers coach Jeremy Pruitt is attacking the junior college ranks in hopes of immediately filling needs at various positions. Over the weekend, Pruitt and his staff hosted 7 members of the ESPN Junior College 50. Pass rusher Jordan Allen, who's ranked number 9. Nebraska receiver commit Jaron Woodyard at number 11. Tight end Dominic Wood Anderson, who's ranked 15th. Offensive tackle and LSU verbal commit Badara Trey Orr is ranked at number 17. Running back Greg Bell is ranked at number 20. Offensive guard Giancarlo Valentin is at number 21. And offensive tackle Jameer Johnson is ranked at number 49. And they were all at Knoxville this past weekend. Okay? So Pruitt is trying to make an immediate impact. He's got a good group of players that are there now. I think that now that the Butch Jones debacle is over with, there can be some civility maybe in Knoxville and get back to the winning ways like they had prior to the middle of last season, or I should say the 2016 season. And I'm sure that Keon will talk about more on the Tennessee issues at hand coming up in his show.
No, he's just going to talk about basketball.
No? Boss is picking on Keon. I don't think the boss realized Keon was behind him.
Oh, I know he's there. I saw him come in.
Now, the Vols are going to try to find similar success with some quick fixes. But meanwhile, quarterback and top-ranked player Justin Fields' announcement on Sunday night, He would be signing Wednesday, tomorrow, with the start of the national signing period. It gets underway tomorrow with Georgia. And that's going to give head coach Kirby Smart and the staff added boost that they needed this week because everybody's scurrying to try to get their signees in order before the signing period starts tomorrow.
Piece of the pie.
Yes. Jamari Salyer was on the fence, but he announced Sunday night he's planning on signing Wednesday as well at Georgia. Both were in Athens for an official visit over the weekend. And usually if they're making a last-minute visit on campus prior to the National Signing Day, that's usually where they end up going. So Tennessee could be coming away with a lot of big announcements tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
All right, we've got more coming up after the break. We've got Preds Pulse with Sam Jordan III on the phone out west, and we've got a lot more to talk about. In fact, I ain't even gotten through my pile halfway yet. So a lot more is coming your way here on Nooga Radio.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A family car and a semi-truck on Bonnie Oaks Drive early this morning crashed, leaving 5 hospitalized. 2 have been released and 3 remain in critical condition. Traffic reports say that the semi was resting on top of the vehicle. Traffic investigators working the case. A fire scare at DuPont Elementary caused early dismissal yesterday. Apparently, a power surge caused several light ballasts to burst, causing smoke to enter into a hallway. School was dismissed early and after-school care was canceled. Everything should be back to normal today. Jerome Porter has been arrested in the shooting case that happened outside the Coyote Jack Saloon Sunday morning. He's accused of killing 22-year-old Jerome Porter and injuring 24-year-old Tori Porter in an argument that occurred outside that saloon. He's been held on bond of $1,100,000. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Sports Now. Bradley Central and East Hamilton split a pair of games last night, with Bradley Central winning the girls' game 49-40 in a game that featured 2 unbeaten Class 5 3A opponents. East Hamilton beat Bradley Central in the boys' game 78-60. Meanwhile, Brainerd's Chassie Walker put in 31 points to guide the Panthers to a come-from-behind victory over Red Bank 79-72. Red Bank drops to 5-5 on the season. The University of Tennessee at Chattanooga wrestling team evened its record at 3-3 with a 22-19 win over visiting Ohio and McClellan Gym. Last night, the Mocs scored bonus points in all 5 of their wins in a duel that saw the lead change 4 times. Covenant men's basketball team had 6 players score in double figures and never trailed in a 100-85 victory over Austin on Monday in the Rhodes Holiday Classic at Mallory Gym in Memphis. Covenant will be back in action tonight against Rhodes. Tip-off set at 4 o'clock. Sam Jordan, News Talk 92.7 Sports Now.
The Tennessee Valley's news talk leader, Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
An automated nuclear missile defense system has suddenly entered into launch mode, and you are the only one who can stop it. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Your team has just been infected with a deadly virus. Your only hope? There, in an abandoned farmhouse. Escape Experience Chattanooga. Handcuffed in a maximum security prison, you have an hour to flee. Escape Experience Chattanooga. These escape scenarios and more at Chattanooga's best escape room game and team building platform. Call now. Slots are limited. Register online at escapeexperience.com/Chattanooga. Escape Experience Chattanooga.
Cash, and more cash. Hey, where do you think Santa shops? Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. He made a special stop to tell Rick, slash those prices. Ho, ho, ho. That's right now for Christmas at Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Even Rick's not going to say no to Santa. No. Don't wait till after Christmas. It'll be way too late. Get your cash right now for your gold, your silver, your diamonds, and jewelry. Has Rick gone mad?
Well, maybe a little.
No, we think he's just Christmassy. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. You know where it is. Hey, is that Santa? Ho, ho, ho. Even Rick's not going to say no to Santa. No. Get your cash right now.
Goss Insurance. Yes, we are local. And no, we don't have an 800 number. In fact, our mobile numbers are on our business cards. We live, work, play, and worship in Chattanooga, and we would love to help with your insurance. Business, auto, home, life insurance. Call now, save money. Call Goss Insurance for all your insurance needs. Goss Insurance, 875-2500. 875-2500.
Broadcasting live to over 1 million souls in Chattanooga, the Tennessee Valley, and beyond on frequency modulation 92.7. Sean Hannity, 25,000 watts on digital FM 95.3 HD4. CBS Radio News. NASCAR, Bloomberg Markets, David Tulis, streaming strong at NoogaRadio.com. Live on YouTube and Facebook. Nooga Radio, News Talk 92.7. Chattanooga Radio.
Areas of rain will continue to move in from the west for your nighttime. Overnight lows near 52. A very wet start to your Wednesday with rain and thunder showers. High temperatures run around 60. Tomorrow night, any showers push off to the east with dry weather in store for Thursday. The week of Christmas is looking very cold, so let Dodge City Ski Shop keep you and your family toasty warm all winter long with the largest selection of cold weather clothing around. That's Dodge City, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Sports Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ward.
Sports Talk with Sam Jordan back on with you here for the second half hour. And checking in with us from out in the western United States following the Nashville Predators and a host of Pratt's Pulse. Here's Sam Jordan. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, guys.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Nashville Predators, how their road trip has went so far, and they've got a game tonight, I believe, in Winnipeg.
Actually, they're just down the state line there in Nashville for tonight's game against Winnipeg. The Preds came off a very, very successful Western road trip.
Well, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I'm sure if you're listening or watching, Sam, call us back, and we'll get you on. So they are taking on Winnipeg in NHL action. So we'll be waiting to get that phone call back from Sam Jordan III, who is out on the West Coast there, and keeping us up to date with what's going on with the Nashville Predators here on Nooga Radio. No other radio station here in Chattanooga keeps you informed on the Preds like we do when they have their home games or road games. So more than glad to bring that to you. While we were waiting for Sam to check back in, former Tennessee Director of Football Operations Chris Spagnardi has pled guilty to a charge of official misconduct related to the handling of team travel expenses. Spagnardi worked at Tennessee the first 3 seasons of former coach Butch Jones's tenure, and his responsibilities, including managing cash expenditures for team trips. The charge against Spagnardi involved the fabrication of receipts from those trips. His plea on Thursday included a restitution order of over $14,000 to make up for money that was unaccounted for. The Knoxville News-Sentinel first reported Spagnardi's plea and said a sentencing is scheduled for February 9th. Spagnardi was placed on paid administrative leave in August of 2016 and was fired December of 2016 for what former athletic director Dave Hart termed as, quote, gross misconduct. Hart's termination letter to Spagnardi said this decision is based on information learned by the university's Office of Audit and Compliance. Spagnardi had been making $80,800. Part of Chris Spagnardi's many duties at the University of Tennessee was the distributing of cash for per diem and expenses for bowl games and away games to coaches, players, and staff. Spagnardi's lawyer, Jeff Haygood, said in a statement after his client's plea, quote, it was not a good system, and Chris, by his own admission, did a poor job reconciling and record keeping. And he added that, quote, Chris was a very well thought of director of operations for the University of Tennessee football team. And that, quote, given an opportunity in the future, I think he will be successful. Tennessee athletic director or athletic department spokesman Tom Sekowik said in a statement that the school is aware of the proceedings but has no plans to comment on the matter before an official state report is issued. Spagnardi had worked directly with Jones at Central Michigan and Cincinnati before following him to Tennessee. Spagnardi worked at Central Michigan first as a student assistant and later as a video coordinator. I can tell someone has a smaller head than me. And later as a video coordinator, started out at Cincinnati as an administrative coordinator and served as chief of staff in 2011 and 2012. All right. So, that issue is coming to a conclusion there in Knoxville, and hopefully things will get turned around to where things will be a lot better for the University of Tennessee.
Should we call Sam back?
We can try.
You have his number?
I can get it real quick if you will kind of fill here for a moment.
Oh, there he is. There he's calling back right now.
See.
There you go. Okay.
Good evening. You're on Sports Talk with Sam Jordan.
Hey, it's Sam calling in again. We had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Yeah, I accidentally hung up on you. Sorry.
Yeah,
man.
Sab did that. Your other daddy hung up on you.
Oh.
All right. So, they're on the road, finishing up their road series. Tell us a little bit how their road trip has been so far and what they're going to be going up against here tonight.
Well, like I said, they're at home tonight here against Winnipeg. So they finished up that 3-game road swing in Calgary on Saturday night, winning that game 2-0. They faced the Edmonton Oilers Wednesday night and won 4-0. So they got 2 back-to-back shutouts, and then they also got a 7-1 win over the Vancouver Canucks last Tuesday. So a very solid road trip. When you can score 13 goals and only give up 1 in 3 games, you're playing lights out, and that's what you want to see about this time of year. We're getting about to the halfway point. It's an 82-game season. So we shall see how this all plays out. I think as we get deeper into the stretch, guys, you're starting to feel the season on you. They're starting to have, a chance for more injuries to come prevalent. But as of right now, they only have 1 guy out with a upper body injury, and he's not to be expected as anybody that follows. He wasn't due to return anyways till January 1st or after. So right now, a pretty healthy Preds team. I think they have a solid chance to stay healthy. With playing this good, if you're playing open like they have been, you just get a more you're not putting yourself in positions. But there's always those chances as your body wears during the season. Things can happen, and we just have to hope that we can stay healthy. But I do think even if we were to occur an injury or two to any top players, we have those backups that are able to step in and fill in where they need it. And, I think there's a general consensus with people in Nashville and around the league that Nashville could withstand an injury bug if it did affect them, because they have the depth up in Milwaukee. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this almost going to the second half of the season as we close out the NHL's 100th season. Will end here at the end of the month, and they'll head into a 101st season. So we'll see how this goes.
Now, Sam, after they finish this game tonight, that's the end of their road trip, and then they're back home, and then the Christmas break, or after tonight, they won't get back into action until after Christmas?
No, the Preds are actually home tonight. I'm sorry if there was a little confusion there for you. But the Preds will be here at home for a couple of games, and then they will head back out onto the road. I believe they have a home game on Thursday against Carolina, and then they'll be at Dallas, St. Louis, and Minnesota. So you got 3 Central Division. So these 2 games here tonight and on Thursday I think we'll play critical to getting a mentality, of just shutting out teams and playing well defensively and scoring the puck as they've been doing with no problem lately. So, but none of these teams are teams that are pushovers. I mean, Carolina is a young, very good team. But do believe that they're in the midst of a playoff. They could be in playoff position if they play as well as they have. And then you go to Dallas and St. Louis and Minnesota, which are Central Division rivals, and they're always tough. They always play hard. Always can get a really good game. They're probably the funnest games to watch throughout the season. When you play your rivals, you play with that intensity, with that grit that you have to. It just makes it. And I think the ultimate goal with these Central Division games is because the Central is so close. I mean, all but one team is completely, in a sense, out of it. But 5 teams are
MSNBC
winning records. So this will be a crucial stretch when you play these Central Division teams. They will want to get these points, these 2 points each game, to kind of cushion their lead and hopefully go for the first ever division title here in the Central.
Now, here's a question for you, Sam. Do you think the Preds are going to be looking to make some possible trades before we get to the half of the season?
I honestly think the Preds are going to sit still, and they have, I believe, Kyle Turris. David Poyle looked at what an opportunity he had to pick up a great player like Kyle Turris. I mean, general consensus in Nashville, everybody wanted Matt Duchene. He was a fan favorite during the All-Star game that was held there in 2016. He's always been well-liked, and the rumors were that David Poyle was going to have to give up a lot of young top prospects, and he just didn't want to do that. With the Kyle Turris trade, he only had to give up one player in Samuel Girard, a stud defenseman that probably would have been another franchise player for the Preds. But David knew they had an expendable player in a sense. I'm sure no GM wants to put one of their top defensemen out there, especially with Nashville being kind of like defensive vacuum, in a sense, in the hockey sense. They've turned out so many great defensemen over the years. But they only had to give up one prospect for Kyle Turris, and since coming to Nashville, Kyle has increased the team's average by almost 2 goals a game, which any team will take that in a heartbeat, given that it's already hard enough to put in the game that they play now is that it's such a speed and a physical grind. Any team wants to add that offensive power and put things together. So I don't anticipate any moves, but you never know. David Poyle is a guy that keeps his cards close to his chest. So.
All right, Sam Jordan checking in with us with Preds Pulse, and we appreciate you checking in with us, and we'll talk to you again before the next home game, all right?
Some news for any Chattanoogan tomorrow, from my sources, I'm being told tomorrow Nashville will be granted their first ever Major League Soccer franchise. MLS commissioner is on his way to Nashville. There'll be a big press conference in the morning at the Country Music Hall of Fame. So another great sport is coming to Tennessee. This will be great, I think, for the city of Nashville and the state to add another professional sports franchise. They already have a couple NBA teams. So who knows? Maybe Nashville's on the trend to have all 4 major sports teams in the state.
And more than likely playing at Nissan Stadium there where the Titans play, correct?
That is what my initial sources have told me. A temporary stadium they'll use Nissan Stadium during the Major League Soccer season. If they were to start, it's looking for 2019. But the MLS has made an agreement with the local Nashville organizing committee to build a whole new stadium at the Nashville Fairgrounds where they hold the state fair every year. So that is scheduled to be open in 2021, possibly 2022, depending on going through legal avenues that they have to go to get permission to do demolition and whatnot. So another great announcement for the state of Tennessee, and all goes back to Governor Haslam for bringing these teams here and increasing the ever-expanding portfolio of the state of Tennessee as one of the greatest states in the United States.
All right, Sam, thanks for checking in. We'll talk to you again next time, all right?
Thank you.
All right, Sam Jordan reporting on Preds Pulse, and also with that news of Nashville getting a Major League Soccer team that will be coming to Nashville here very soon. An announcement coming tomorrow, so we were just wondering how much of your tax dollars are going to be at work on that.
By the way, that's the kind of football I like.
Growth, which
you know that?
Yeah.
Soccer is the kind of football I like.
So, and then also Chattanooga Football Club, this is their last year as an amateur organization. Next year, they will be going to professional. So Chattanooga's moving up in their class of play.
You know, I used to play soccer.
What were you, the ball?
I know you're not going to believe it. Hold on one second. I have to listen to this.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in
You
credit
don't mind
card
if I
debt?
listen to this for a
Are you
minute?
barely getting by
We have to
making
listen to this
minimum
commercial
payments?
for a second.
You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020.
There you go.
All right. So if you need debt relief,
there you go.
Call SAB. SABA Bank. Anyway, we're trying to get a problem. The reason why we're having these little brief interruptions and having the boss man in here is we had a piece of equipment that fried at the transmitter site. And so we were scurrying about, or at least he was for the most part. Most I've ever seen his little chubby feet move. So, it's just one of those things, trying to get us back into being that top #1 rated radio station for news, talk, and sports. So he's been up well early this morning. Preds Pulse, you can always catch it on game days with the Nashville Predators and one of their season ticket regulars, Sam Jordan III. And I'm just waiting for him to say, hey, Dad, you want to go catch a Titans game?
He still hasn't invited you?
Save 20.
Not to the Titans.
You're kidding me. Why?
I was supposed to be in Nashville tonight for the Preds game.
You're kidding.
Yeah, but, my dedication and loyalty is right here. Now, I am going to take off. Yeah. I am going to take off January 16th because Sam and his wife, Mary, and their two sons, my grandsons, are going to be coming in, and I've got tickets to go and see the Preds play. So
you take off the whole week. You just won't get paid.
I don't get paid now.
Save me some money.
Yeah, I'm saving you money.
So I played right wing in soccer. In case you're wondering. You didn't ask, like you don't care.
Wow, I thought you would have been like Chi-Chi, playing defense.
No, I actually played right wing.
Oh, I played goalie. I enjoyed that. I only let 6 goals go by in a season.
Well, you're a big boy. I mean,
I was a lot thinner, too, and could move quick.
Just stand in front of the goal, and the ball will never make it in.
Members of Team Gallagher.
So, anyway, we'll get back into more sports here. University of Tennessee Chattanooga wrestling program got a big victory, defeating the Bobcats of Ohio University. They're at McClellan Gym last night, 22-19. They kept it close, but they were able to prevail. They were able to get some bonus points in the 5 of their wins in a duel that saw the lead change 4 different times. That was how close that matchup was. And I'm not even going to be able to get through all the stuff that I've got here prepared for tonight. I'll have to save it again for tomorrow. In other college news, and I think we were able to tell you about this yesterday, but just to make sure, Covenant defeated Austin 100-85. That was over at Memphis at the Rhodes Holiday Classic. They're at Mallory Gym in Memphis, and there were in action tonight against Rhodes. That was a game set for 4 o'clock. I don't have an update before going on the air talking about whether or not they were winning or not. So, a lot of basketball, wrestling action going on, and we try to keep you as informed as possible.
Well, you do, and so does Gallagher. Listen,
why? Well, because Hillsdale refuses to let government bureaucrats.
That was
why? Because Hillsdale refuses.
Yes. So don't forget, coming up, hopefully Keon will have a great show, and without interruptions.
Because I'll be out of here, but
yeah, I'm sure. But Keon's coming up after the CBS World News Roundup here at 7 o'clock, so he'll be in here around 10 after. And we'll give you the best 50 minutes you can find in talking sports. So make sure you tell a friend about it to tune in to The Clutch with Keon Rose Monday through Thursday from 7 to 8 here on Nooga Radio. We'll briefly talk here about NASCAR. NASCAR has got a lot of news going on. Richard Petty Motorsports is going to be switching from Ford engines over to Chevys.
Yay!
Yeah, but the thing is, Richard Petty's always been known to run a Dodge. That's where he made his history in winning the championships that he did. But he's going from Ford to Chevrolet next season and forming an alliance with Richard Childress Racing. That will see RPM secure shop space on the RCR campus. RPM majority owner Andrew Merstein said the move aligns two of the most successful organizations in NASCAR history. Pretty much anymore.
I thought he was retiring.
Government owns your life.
Who?
That the government provides for you.
Richard Petty. Well, Richard Petty is still going strong, and he's lining up with Richard Childress Racing. That's going to do it for me, Sam Jordan. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. The sports updates throughout the day, and, of course, tomorrow night, 6:07 with Sports Talk with Sam Jordan. Until then, have a great night, folks. See ya.